How's it going, everyone? It is Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, and this is the video for today. So we're going to start with our longer term market bias as always on the SPY D1 chart. This has not changed that much. We're still in a bullish uptrend. Technically, all systems are strong, and fundamentally, all systems are also quite bullish. Now we have some warning clouds. We have some tea leaves that we're looking at in terms of what's happening in China. We know that the market has been lowering their optimism on rate cuts, so we're aware of those factors in play and we're monitoring them, but the price action has still been bullish for the last 4 months. Now, on a shorter term time frame, we're seeing a little bit of looseness in the market. A negative reaction from CPI broke out of this wedge here. Nice move on NVIDIA earnings. You can see here how the market has been pulling back on fairly low volume. Let's go to the M15 chart. So in the M15 chart, you can see here, massive move up higher. You can put in an HA candle if you want. Massive move up higher. We're having this low volume pullback over here. Just going to bring this up a tad higher. Very low volume and mixed overlapping candles on this pullback lower. So this, to me, this tells us that buyers are still engaged. They're waiting for a good price to get in on this move in the market over here. Got a little bit ahead of itself, pulling back. I view this as pretty normal. We know that there's not going to be a lot happening next week. This week and even next week, I think ISM services to me is the first meaningful piece of information that comes out on the 5th, which is next Tuesday. And then we have the unemployment report on next Friday. We have a couple of major earnings coming out, and there is some rebalancing happening on the 1st with SPY. We're going to get into that in a second with one of our positions. So what are we looking out for on the daily chart? Well, we're looking, for me, specifically, a little bit of a bull flag formation. We have a day of gains. We're able to make a new high of the day, and we're able to take some swings. Until I see that, I'm personally not taking any long swings. I'm just kind of waiting for this action to die down. Maybe I'm taking some day trades. I do give my picks, but I don't always trade the picks I give because it's dependent on my market bias. However, the picks have been doing pretty well, so who's to say? Who's to say? Price action the last few days, like I mentioned, we're pulling back over here. To me, if I'm a shorter term swing trader, I'm waiting for this move to be digested and a confirmation of support on a next leg higher. If I'm a day trader, I could probably favor some trades on the short side, but I'm not seeing a lot of great trades on the short side. I'm seeing more great trades on the long side. So I would take small position size over here. I would pick your entries very carefully on these LRSI 10P crosses. You see one is setting up over here. Pick your entries carefully, and you could find really, really strong stocks that are withstanding the move. So CEG is, we don't really trade utilities, but here's a perfect example, a stock that has completely defied gravity, going up while the market's been flat, holding flat while the market's been going down. Now you can see it's breaking out of compression to the upside, and it looks like it's ready to challenge this high of the day over here. So that's what day traders should do. Let's look at the last pick from the last video, which was CLSK. So we did a call debit spread overnight. We did this because one, market is still pulling back, and then two, this was a nice breakout, but we know that crypto is pretty volatile. This is a choppy stock, and we wanted to mitigate gains. So we took our CDS somewhere over here, and then you took profits on the open. So I did not actually trade it, but I paper traded it. So I got in at 20 cents and I got out at 35 cents. So that was a nice win on that. CLSK was a win. Let's look at the other positions that we are in right now. All right. First one here is Spot. So Spot, as you can see, it's testing the breakout here as it often does on these levels before it'll inch up higher.
Some selling in spot today, but we're still above this level. Our diagonal short call is doing very well, and it's kind of protecting that premium loss that we're seeing on the downside of that call. Crowd. Crowd continues to advance higher as PNW had a nice move up. You know that earnings is coming next Tuesday. The next thing that is also important is that on Friday we have potentially crowd being added to the S&P 500. So that could have a move on the stock. So that also shortens our time horizon. You can see here my target is for a small win here, but I'm watching this candle carefully because we have a bit of a bearish hammer here. So I'd want to see this move up continue, go higher and higher tomorrow. I like this strength while the market's going down. So any sort of market move up in the next few days, I think we could still get a small win on the stock. But I think this is a pretty crucial candle here given the market context that we're seeing. CFLT, we have an order to take a very small scratch on this next retest of this high. You can see how, let's check this explosion alert real quick. Might not be good. Might be good. See, not good. Long tail. We're going to ignore this post explosion alert. All right, back to CFLT. It's compressing over here. It's probably digesting some of this move. I like this lower, as higher low over here. It could still break up to the upside. But you know, I think you're going to look at it both ways. To me, I like the move to perform pretty quickly, and when it doesn't perform quickly, I usually temper my bullishness. That's what I've noticed in the past. So it could perform, but I'd rather try to take a small loss, scratch, or a small win somewhere in the area and pick a different stock. But something I can scratch, CLSK, we can get out of. I'm going to look at the picks that I'm in currently. So some of the same. We have a Netflix put credit spread that is very, very out of the money. I believe we took that somewhere over here, probably below, yeah, this 535 level. So that has done very, very well. Our GS put credit spread, which is expiring this week, is also doing pretty well. We're testing this lows over here. We might test the downside of this channel, but our level here is below 375, I believe. So that's doing very nicely. MCD had a bit of a pullback today. You can see that we have the 50 SMA and we have a VWAP-E as support. So we have the 290 puts over here. We got that filled for a 51-cent credit. The 290, the 290, 285, 70 put credit spread. So just dissing yourself from the action. That's expiring on the 15th. I got that one from Pete, and that was filled in today. Let's go over some picks that I was liking today. So the first thing, couple ones I liked here. First one, Carvana, really nice breakout, adding to the gains today. Very strong price action, but it's a choppy stock. So I'm waiting for an L RSI cross up, which I'm going to create an alert right now. When we get that LRSI cross up, you have a pretty decent entry point. I don't like how it's gone down with the market here, but it's still a very strong stock, and it's still pretty strong. So you could probably take a CDS. Again, I'm not going to give any trades, but I'm just going to show out a couple of trades that I am liking, a couple of stock setups that I'm liking today. Kava was a decent one, but looks like it has sold off pretty hard on this candle over here. So not the type of price action that we want. CEG was a great breakout, really strong post earnings, which is very unusual for a stock like this. But you can see how this is a really ideal M5 chart. We're just stacking green candles on the open, really heavy volume early in the day, lots of volume, tight price action, holding the lines here while the market's moving down and going higher. So if I was day trading, I think this would be a long pick I would take, but given that the market's going down, not crazy about it. And one that I liked from yesterday still is AXP. So you can see here how yesterday it's moving up while the market is moving down. Today it's holding all of the gains while the market continues to move down. It's a steady grinder higher. We're in a nice bullish channel. It broke this compression to the upside and it's holding the gains. So I really like AXP. I still like it today. You can still get it at the same price as yesterday. And I think if I had to do a pick of the day, that'd probably be my pick of the day. I think the other ones are a little bit too volatile for me, in my opinion. Carvana, I would like I don't know. It's to me, it's a little bit out of the gate. I feel like there's still some earnings volatility. I'd probably, if I do anything, probably do a CDS on a stock like that. But I feel much better about AXP for two reasons. One, we have a very strong bullish chart, very steady grind up higher. It's held the pullback very well on the SPY D1 chart, right? So if we look at the last 3 days for SPY, the last 3 days for AXP, really nice relative strength. Volume is okay. Not the best, but the price action is very, very strong. You can even see here how it held up very well during the CPI days. As soon as the market found some support, it's still surging higher. So AXP, I think, would be my pick. If you had to trade it, we'd go out probably 2 months out here, 2 or 3 months out. So maybe the March 22nd calls or March 28th calls. And let's see a good pricing for that I would say. Let's go to March 22nd. All right, so AXP is currently 217. So let's look at the 205 ones. This is not very liquid. It's a high gamma, or sorry, high delta. So the 210 is a pretty nice kind of that sweet spot that we like over here. Let's go out to March 28th. Let's look at the 210. Yeah, I mean, bid-ask spread's a little bit tighter. We don't want the really wide ones over here. So that's probably what I would do with AXP. You can even actually hold it. This might be probably too far out, but if you hold it on April 19th, you will mitigate any sort of time decay on the stock because of earnings. So the April 19th 210 call puts us below this area here, below this level of support. Is pretty nice. So I'd use a deep in the money call to take a swing on that. Depending on your time horizon, you could do a longer term swing or a shorter term swing. But I think how I would do is probably a shorter term swing. Look for a full ETR move. We'll wait for this pullback to finish, and we will adjust our bias accordingly. So again, if I'm a swing trader, I'm waiting for this pullback to end, and then I'm entering some positions. If I'm a day trader, I'm looking at the short side, and I am watching for any signs of support that is forming up over here. AXP is my pick of the day. We are going to add it to our watch list, our YouTube picks. And that is it for the video. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll pick it back up tomorrow.